Let's give it a shot. Now we're recording. Okay, everybody, welcome to the call. Hey, Bev, nice to see you on the call. Christine.
Takes me a while to get the picture.
That's okay. That's why we always give people a few extra minutes. So we're just glad you made it. So yeah, I'm going to launch in. Hey, Christine, our new Pro 3 again. So I don't know why Pro 3. It's like, well, because of that, the Pro 3, what was it called? Pro 3 dash?
Frenzy.
Yeah, we had two people, Frenzy, who you girls know that if you would be in Indianapolis, you'd be called up for a picture with one of those big checks. I'm thinking me and Tama should go up on your behalf and get photos with the big checks with your name on it. So if we can bring them back, I don't know if we can, but hopefully we can bring them back for you guys if they do that. So anyway, I'm going to share my screen and go over the latest incentive because I know you guys have all seen it, but I think this one is really cool. We've got the Pace Setter program, and it's really exciting. I love the direction the company's going in because, like Darren Jensen said on the leadership call today, or whatever the call, corporate call, he said our compensation plan is very generous. However, there's not a lot of time urgency built into it, especially in the beginning. So this little Pacesetter program, they rolled it out. It's going for a few months into the summer, I believe, but they make it a permanent part of the compensation plan. We're kind of in a test phase with this, but it really is focused on getting people to the Pro 2 level quite quickly. And I just see they boosted this whole little program with a chance to win a car. Like, how cool is that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there's a few different ways that you can play in it. So for each milestone you reach, you'll actually receive a raffle ticket for the chance to win this, what they're calling a pace car at the Elite Academy in Anaheim. So a few of us are going to Indianapolis, and I'm talking to a lot more people. It sounds like we're going to have a big crew going to Anaheim in July. So you guys do know that if you look on, let me just expand it here, lifevantage.com. You can go to upcoming events. Whoops. And there is a save these dates. So if you guys don't know about this, this is like lots of heads up all the way into this year what the dates are. So of course, a few of us are heading off to Elite Academy in Indianapolis. I think we're going to freeze our butts off there too. It sounds very cold. And I'm very excited about Elite Academy in Anaheim because I love the location. It's walking distance from Disney, which is always fun. And then we have Global Convention in October. So that's right underneath company save the dates. So I went to promotions to talk about this Pacesetter promo. And it's just a chance to win some extra cash. And really, if people take advantage of this, they can essentially have their Anaheim trip paid for, which I think is very cool because a lot of people, when they're starting out, they're not rolling in the money in this. So this will help them stash away a little bit of money to go to the Elite Academy if they desire. You know, I think it's a lot of people talk in the company like, you know, the only way you should miss this is if it's for a funeral, your own. I totally disagree with that sentiment. The reality is people who go though, it turns them on you. For me, it really showed me what this company was all about. And now I go, like I mentioned at our last event, because it feeds me. You get to a leadership level in this and you give. This is a chance for us to take in and soak up that higher level belief and see ourselves, you know, walking the stage if we're not walking the stage, and really put ourselves in that mindset of going to the next level. And I always find it comes at exactly the right time, right when I'm going, whew, I need that little infusion. So this Pacesetter program, you can earn $100 if you reach Pro 2 in your first 30 days. So that is Pro 2 in your first full calendar month. So if you join in the month before and it's not a full month, you have whatever days in that month plus the next 30 days. So they're really generous. And another $100 when you maintain Pro 2 the next month, and $250 if you reach Pro 3 in 90 days. So this all accumulates. So it's very cool. And these extra raffle tickets. maintaining Pro 3, and they've got a Pace Setter Pro title as well. And you guys, I'm not going to go into all the details, but you're going to want to read the terms and conditions. Very important here is this point here. Qualifying Pro 2s or 3s cannot be stacked within an organization to count for qualifying rank advancements. So you cannot sign up a bunch of people and put them underneath each other to help boost them to those levels. That won't count for them. So understand that, but all the details are in here. It's open to the entire company, and I just think it's fantastic that, you know, we've had, it used to be in the company they only focused on Pro 5s, then they brought it down to the foundational rank of Pro 3, and now we're getting recognition for Pro 2s, because a lot of people coming in, the reality is they're not going to get to Pro 7 in the first year. You know, and that's the story. They always marched across the stage. But I love that they're celebrating these kind of rank achievements. So that's all I wanted to point out with this. It's on the website. Learn it. Talk to your new people who you bring aboard about this, because this could be a fun thing to help them shoot for. So anytime you bring it aboard, say, well, this is going to be our first goal. You know, whether or not they want to go into the big time money of this, who doesn't want to have fun with this and, you know, win a little raffle ticket? Wouldn't that be fun if somebody on Team Momentum won a car? I think that'd be awesome. So yeah, so that's all I got to say about this. I'm going to stop the share here, and I'm going to turn it over to Tama, because we've been talking about really boosting our numbers in our businesses by getting away from just talking about the Nrf2, which has been the foundation of everything we do. Now that we've got the Nrf1 here, if you do the math on that, you have a potential to double your numbers with the same amount of effort and the same amount of people. So even just by going back and talking to some of your existing customers, maybe they wanted to start out on Nrf2, and that's understandable for some. You have some who want to add things in and see how it goes, but bring the conversation right at the beginning around Nrf1. And we thought it'd be fun to just go over some tips and a little bit of education on it, because once you understand the power of Nrf1, it'll be easier to talk about and promote. So go ahead, Tama, take it away.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good Monday. I'm going to share my screen because, of course, I did a little slide presentation because it helps me. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick and then get you right into the presentation part. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. I don't know how to make this smaller. Here we go. Okay, now I can see my, let's see. So, I was really excited when Protandim Nrf1 launched in Canada. I've been talking about it since I joined the company in April of 2016, and it launched in May of 2016. We started taking it in July when we went to Anaheim. So I've noticed a massive difference in me. Sean's over here drinking tea. I've noticed a massive difference in me, and I've also noticed a massive difference in people's story when they take Nrf2 versus when they take Nrf1 alone. Nrf2 alone versus when they take the duo pack. They seem to not have as much cleansing issues. They seem to heal more quickly. So their body activates more, and so it's been a huge part of my business personally. I looked over my back office last month and was looking at who had Nrf2 only, who had dual packs. Most of my business is on dual packs, so I've talked about this a lot, and it's exciting to me. So I wanted to talk about a few things, but let's start with what business are we really in? And we're in the business of helping people change their story. And story is a big thing. So how do we do that? We tell them what we have to offer them. All of it. We have an amazing side hustle that you can make it into a full-time gig if you want. All of it, not just a few things of it, of the opportunity as well as the product, because, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. So what helps to tell them? Be a product of the product, which means in order to understand what you're talking about, part of that is taking the product yourself and saying, well, because people always ask me, well, what has it done for you? I can tell them all the science they want, but every time, what has it done for you? And then the next question, they want story, right? And then know the basics about all the products. I'm going to go into some detail about Nrf1, but you don't have to know all these details. But I found that when I hear a whole bunch of details, I can at least distill it down to the basic concept so that when I'm talking to someone, I can give them like something that intrigues them, right? Or helps them. And then gather stories, yours included. So that goes with being a product of the product. So in doing that, you will do two things: change their story and change your story. And over the last year and a half, I've had so many precious opportunities to be a part of, become a part of changing people's stories that were totally unexpected to me, that had to do with both the product and the opportunity. We get pretty entwined in people's lives, right? Because their health and their finances are pretty deeply part of who they are and what they think is important and the decisions that they make. So in part of being a part of their story, it changes my story and it changes me, right? Because I grow and learn and we all join this for different reasons. Like some of us join to help feed our families, right? Bring a little extra income, like as distributors. I don't mean as customers. And then some of us we all join to help people. Like it's just part of the DNA of especially this team, right? We all signed up and we're all in. And I know for me, I started dreaming again. I didn't feel well enough to dream before, and now I dream big. And so you don't know what someone's been praying for, if they've been praying for help with finances, something to do, some side hustle, some change is coming in their world. You don't know what kind of things their body needs. I know that I prayed for something like this on both sides of the equation for about 15 years. And so, you know, I will say it again, I'll be forever grateful to my in-laws for telling us about this, forever grateful. And so that's a pretty massive change to stories, right? For people and for us. And I like dream big. What about changing your community? What about changing the face of your community? What about changing let's go bigger, your city? What about your province? What about your nation? What about your continent? What about your world, right? Like there are so many people, I run into people all the time who need what we have. And as I'll show you, we're pretty much the only answer for Nrf1. So what is Protandim Nrf1 and what does it do? I'm a very curious person. I need to know what things do, and like I can't just read something and go, oh, cool. I need to know what every word means as I'm reading. So that's kind of what I did. Protandim Nrf1 is a phenomenal thing. It turns on the Nrf1 pathway. It's like a switch. It turns on this pathway in your body. So here's what you'll read when you go on to our LifeVantage page, or someone puts together a brochure. It increases cellular energy, ATP. improves performance through energy production, enhances cellular health, it cells function at peak performance, improves sleep quality and promotes cellular repair, creates new mitochondria and promotes their ability to network, slows cellular aging by supporting chromosome integrity. I didn't even know what any of that meant, honestly. Like, I could, I understand the words, but I didn't know what it meant. So I kind of broke it down. The mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cells. Their primary role is to convert nutrients that we eat into energy, and specifically through the production of let's see if I can get this right, adenosine triphosphate, ATP, right? So ATP, the mitochondria produce ATP, and ATP is absolutely essential for survival. Without ATP, life would cease to exist. So plants have mitochondria, we have mitochondria. It really is an essential part of survival. So what does the mitochondria do? Here's a picture of the mitochondria. Here's more of what I just said. Takes nutrients we give our bodies and turns it into energy. So I wanted to go through each of those little points on that initial slide. Create new mitochondria, promote their ability to network and improve performance through energy production. So the more healthy mitochondria you have, the easier it is on your body because they can divide the labor. So it's somewhat like a power plant. I liked this power plant because it's solar instead of nuclear. So in dividing the workload, it enables them to be more efficient, to do their job and stay healthier, and to convert energy into ATP, so that it can be used throughout the body, right? Now, just like power plants, our body's power plants, our mitochondria, they create exhaust called oxidative stress. And so this is why you must take Nrf1 with Nrf2. And remember, Nrf1 and Nrf2 are named after pathways in our body. So here's the next point on that last slide was enhances cellular health and cells function at peak performance. So this is kind of how it works. And once ATP is created, it's used by our cells to facilitate a whole host of body functions, from breathing to exercise. It's required for our survival. So here's the next one. This one totally fascinated me. It improves sleep quality and promotes cellular repair. I have a hard time saying cellular. So let's talk about the importance of sleep. When we sleep, here's just one example of the importance of sleep. When we sleep, we activate the lymphatic system, which you can see over there on the left. And the lymphatic system is absolutely fascinating. It's a whole bunch of vessels all over your brain, as you can see. And what it does it only does this when you sleep because it takes so much energy for your body to do. And while we're awake, we're processing a whole lot of stuff. So this is from your cerebral spinal fluid. It comes from there. So while you sleep, this system squirts this spinal fluid all over your brain. Your brain swells, it's supposed to, every night. And what it does is it takes out all the garbage out of your brain from the day. It takes out any cells that are damaged. It takes that your body can't fix, which if they were left would cause an immense amount of harm. That's where cancer comes from. That's where it's not good to have damaged cells that can't be fixed left in your body. It takes out plaque that's associated with Alzheimer's. Like, it just takes out all the garbage. And if we don't sleep, that doesn't happen. There are so many other reasons to sleep, but that's when our body heals. And so sleep is so important. So to get to sleep and have good REM sleep, massive. I know for me, I didn't sleep for a very long time. I'd sleep 2 or 3 hours a night. And it really cost me health-wise, but I also really noticed it just in functioning and stuff. So the next thing that it says is it slows cellular aging by promoting chromosome integrity. So chromosomes are important. So the loss of so in every cell in your body has chromosomes, and chromosomes contain your DNA, which then at the end of every DNA, there's the telomeres, which I've heard lots of talk about telomeres. They have their own DNA. Anyway, the loss or breakage of chromosomes can cause cells to lose control of when and if they're supposed to divide, becoming cancerous. So nearly every human cell contains about 6 feet of DNA packaged in chromosomes. Not crazy? And chromosomes consist of DNA wrapped around a scaffolding-like structure made of proteins, and each time a cell divides in 2, all of this DNA must be copied exactly and repackaged properly to form chromosomes in the new cell. And so this is protecting that the existing chromosomes, and it's also helping so that it duplicates properly to the next cell that's duplicated, so that it's part of health, right? It's another reason why it takes a while, like it takes time to get better, because you're duplicating your cells properly, and that's what takes the time, right? It's just not an automatic fix. Okay, what is in Nrf1? I have 2 slides here, but I like the one I made. CoQ10 is, I didn't, so this is again where my curiosity gets the best of me. CoQ10, I didn't know what it was made from, or any of this actually, except for grapes. Obviously, I'd heard of grapes. So there's 3 methods that CoQ10 is made by, and ours is the microbial biosynthesis, and as you can see, that is, from what we understand, the very best way to do it. And I like the fact that it reduces production of environmentally hazardous waste based on the enzymatic catalysm at the cellular level. I feel like hazardous waste is not good, so yay, yet again, the best of the best. Quercetin. Did you know quercetin is made from pagoda trees? That's what the next Latin words are under quercetin. Alpha lipoic acid, I could not sort out what that came from, but I don't think you'll ever be asked. Honestly, I've never been asked. Most people go through this list and go, oh, I've heard of CoQ10, quercetin, oh, grapes, cool. And they're good, right? This is Rhodiola rosea. I just like to know what plants look like, because I really like plants. So that's what's in Nrf1. Some pretty tree, some yummy fruit, pretty like cactus-like plant from the Himalayas, actually. So, okay, so the next thing is, how does it work? So it activates our Nrf1 protein, wakes up the Nrf1 protein to support mitochondrial biogenesis, making new mitochondria, and the creation of new, large, and elongated mitochondria. boosts mitochondria production, so it improves your body's ability to repair, supports hemoglobin, which is a protein in the red blood cells that carries oxygen throughout your body, improves cognitive health, supports brain function. This is the thing about your NRF1, your mitochondria, it's a lot about brain, muscle, and heart is a lot of what it is. So it supports brain function, supports muscle function, and it maintains heart health. So and then it increases ATP, which we talked about. But so my question was, what was the difference between cognition and brain function? So I went and looked. Your cognition more has to do with thought, and our brain does a whole heck of a lot more than just, not just thinking. We need to think, but you know what I mean? It does a whole lot more than thinking. So that's the difference. And then my next question was, what happens if our mitochondria aren't working properly? There are a lot of things that happen. Here are a few of them. And again, it's mostly brain, heart, and muscles. And if you go back to the power plant analogy, my friends who live in Africa, I have a few of them, they can never count on their power grid, right? They don't know when they'll have power often. And this is kind of what it's like when you have mitochondrial dysfunction. You don't know when your body is going to work. It can flicker on or flicker off. And so this is really important. So then my next question, what's the prognosis for those who have mitochondrial disease, who don't have Protandim Nrf1? So this is what the Foundation of Mitochondrial Medicine says. There are no highly effective mitochondrial disease treatments. So they know all the reasons why what's happening is happening, but they have absolutely nothing to offer anybody. So when will there be a cure? So many drug trials take years. This is what they say. Drug development for mitochondrial disease has only just begun. Recent studies estimate an average timeline to bring a drug to market is 13 years and $1 billion. That is one drug. So not very soon. So from what I understand, we're the only ones who can help. And it's all natural, so your body doesn't react to synthetic things, which is absolutely amazing. Woohoo! So for me, as I was looking through all of this, I generally want to know resources, and I've gotten a lot of my information from Elite Academies. It's a really good download, right? Hearing from scientists or doctors explaining very simply how these things work. So I learned a lot from them. LifeVantage Academies, I learned a lot from those. My own curiosity, which is vast. And then LifeVantage has a blog, which I'll show you in a minute. And I think that's it. But my hope for you is that this helped you a little bit along the journey, along the path of feeding your family and helping other people. Because what we're doing is important. As you can see, we have something the world doesn't yet know about and really, really needs. I run into people all the time who are talking about their illnesses or their finances, and they just need that help now. I need to figure out how to get out. And my computer is spinning. That's awesome. So, I don't know if, there we go. Yay. I'll stop sharing. Oh, I was going to show you. I often go to the blog, and that's under company. If you just go to lifevantage.com, and blog is right there. But they have a ton on Protandim Nrf1, or, I usually go to the science part. I'll branch out eventually, but they have great articles and they're very informative, and I like reading them. So there you go.
That was awesome, Tama. Seriously awesome. Like, I learned a lot, so I appreciate it. I love the perspective. But yeah, guys, Tama from the beginning has been a dual pack girl. Actually, a lot of her team has been dual pack people. Even though it was a little challenging to start people on that in Canada, Tama said it doesn't matter. We're going to figure it out. And she had a lot of grief dealing with the system of LifeVantage because it wasn't set up to really support us on those products well. And she plowed through because she thought, no, this is too important for everybody. So Tama, thank you. And adenosine triphosphate, that's what it is. I can't say nutrigenomics. I almost have to like twist my mouth. So that's the one that stumbles me up. So, but yeah, great job. Do you guys have any questions for Tama? Or?
I just want to, it's Loretta here. What are some of the mitochondrial diseases that?
I will send you a link of that webpage, the Mitochondrial Foundation for Disease or whatever it was, referenced on there. And they go through all of them. And they actually, let's see.
I'm going to show you keep talking, but I'm going to show you a quick hack because we're hackers. If you go to Google and type in mitochondrial dysfunction, just in Google search, hit images.
Yeah.
You're going to see that chart. So right there.
And there's a whole bunch more. Here. There's a whole bunch more, but this Foundation for Mitochondrial Medicine, if you go in there, they talk a lot about if your mitochondria is not working, it's like 1,000 genes in your body aren't working properly. There's a lot there. So it's everything from that list there that Carla pulled up to really simple things, right? That we don't attribute to much, but it's from simple to extremely severe. So it's super important.
Mm-hmm. So, and you guys too, a lot of you guys want to know where I get that oxidative stress chart. Put it in Google, hit images, and you're going to find that's the chart I like. Because again, this really brings it into, well, what's it mean for me type thing. So there you go.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Tama, so how do you, once you do your presentation, I know we do the same presentation, you focus mostly on the Nrf2 to introduce it, the ABC video. We click through and we show top line and we kind of talk about the progression of where we've come to. How do you then introduce the combination of the two?
I go to our LifeVantage website and I go to shop, and then I tell a lot of stories, right? My own stories, mainly in my family, my mom, I can tell her story. She's my mom. So I tell story as I go through every product, and people ask, so, I say very, very little on the science, but it's important to me that I understand it, right? And I just tell them that this activates, just like we have an Nrf2 pathway, we have an Nrf1 pathway, and this, have you heard of the mitochondria? It's the powerhouse of our cells. Oh, yeah. So, and then I tell them story. Really, that's really what I do. And I say it really helps with your sleep. And let me tell you how it's helped my sleep. It's story, a lot.
Awesome. I love it. Keep it simple. Yeah, for myself, I like to say Nrf2 cleans out the garbage. Nrf1 starts up the engines. So something really simple and basic is you need to know, just so you need to know that it's worth talking about. what Tama showed, I think, is incredibly valid and valuable for me, but you're never going to need to share that with somebody. They would be like asleep and turn on their white noise like I sometimes do when I talk to my dear person in my life. White noise, all I hear is or Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. Right? So don't turn on the Charlie Brown teacher. So yeah, keep it really simple. Yeah, I love that, Tama. Seriously, that was great. Yeah, cleans out the garbage. Lorna, are you saying something? You're on mute. Oh, you're just commenting in the background. You're allowed to comment in the background. Awesome. Well, 7:09. I think that was incredibly valuable. We've got the Pace Setter program. You guys, this business is really, really simple if you keep it simple. You're just simply reaching out to share something with the people you care about. Share a new business that you're involved in. Share, that you got involved with this group of people who are pioneering this biohacking category in nutrition. Something basic, whatever feels right for you, is looking at next level nutrition, next wave supplementation, what's gone into activation. And there's an opportunity behind it that may or may not be for you, but the science is super interesting and I'd love to show you. If it doesn't interest you, that's okay. But when can we get together? Because as Karen said, I loved her thing the best, because I don't want you coming back to me in a year from now saying, why didn't you tell me about this? Whatever works for you, whatever's your real, from the heart, say that. They're going to connect with that. And your job isn't to convince them to buy it or to join you. It is just to get them to look at the information. And that information is compelling. Truth has a resonance. And that is the number one thing I hear from people. They might have been so skeptical. Loretta, I had a great conversation with her new customer, and she said, she's like, oh no, it's one of those things. And she's like, oh, she was fighting with herself. She'd done those things. She didn't want to hear about those things, but she was excited to reconnect with Loretta. And she said, I had this little voice just telling me, just walk over to the computer and look at it. And as she's watching it, she's like thinking, oh my gosh, this is a gift. Like, this is a gift. The conversation I had with her, I'm trying to convince her to post it on Team Momentum, because she said by day 3, she said the results were profound. So she noticed it day 1, day 2, it was improved. Day 3, she was walking up 2 flights of stairs, and she had not been able to do that for a very long time. So she's like, I'm so excited to see where this is going to go. So yeah. Profound is the word of last week.
She'll post it. She fell, so she's not feeling great, but she will post it. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think she's got Protandim.
Yeah, she's working too hard. She's so excited, I think.
Yeah, and you know what, that often happens.
I'm going to check in with a friend of mine who's a physiotherapist, a really good one in Vancouver, and he's noticing a difference. But I'm going to see if we can get him to post some stuff too.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, if you guys have any people who have stories, please encourage them to share. And if you can, post a picture of, but even if they're too shy to post a picture, but a picture with a write-up, the most effective post there is. People connect to it. They could read at their own time. So if any of you guys have stories or your loved ones have stories, please encourage them, because that will bless all the people in that group so much to hear from that. There's somebody waiting to hear that story to go, I need to try this. So yeah, so that's all I got. So some of you have, so thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, good. Sean, you should tell your story. The I can focus, make sure it goes in all caps. Awesome. Okay. Well,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, hold on. No, there. Can I hear you?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I don't know.
We can hear you. You guys, all good. Have a super night. The month is just getting started. We got the Pace Setter program. Let's just have fun with it. Go out and run. Tell the world the good news that we have something that a lot of big researchers are trying to find, and it's right under their noses in your little paws. So you guys, that's it. Signing off. Have a great night.